This week on SUP FM, we've got Suzanne Lier, who was born in Germany, lives in Switzerland, and spends a lot of time in Fuerteventura when she's not racing around the world. But her main thing is Paddlefit, and we're really excited to discuss Paddlefit with her.
Aloha, and welcome to SUP FM, the podcast for stand-up paddleboarders everywhere. So with no further ado, let's get out on the water and on with the show. Here are your hosts, Nick and Simon.
Welcome, Suzanne Lier. It's lovely to have you on SUP FM.
Hello. Nice to talk to you guys too.
Yeah, it's great. So you've been in, you just divide your time between Switzerland and Fuerteventura, right?
Yeah, now it's like the second season. I do that because I'm independent in SUP business since 2 years now. And of course, working in the summer in Switzerland is a perfect idea. But after you have to leave the country to enjoy the waves and the ocean in the winter. And of course, for my training, is the best place to be prepared for the race season.
Sure, but I'm sure in the middle of summer you can train a bit on where are you on Lake Geneva?
Yeah, Lake Geneva. Lake Geneva is perfect place because we have also downwind conditions. We have flat water mainly. But for the typical races we have in Europe, like really like long distance races, is a perfect training place.
Okay, but I'd love to talk about Paddlefit because it's kind of, I mean, it feels like
baby.
Kind of a new, it feels like a new thing to but it's a really amazing way to get fit on a paddleboard, and not many people are doing it around the world. So, how did you come up with the idea, and how did it start?
First of all, I'm a fitness trainer since a long time. So now I'm 34 years old, and I became a fitness trainer at the age of 22. So. Fitness was not like a new thing for me. And when I saw, of course, what the Americans done in 2011, when I became SUP instructor, I said, wow, I can do that too, but on a European standard. And what I like about the program I designed is that people keep paddling. We really focus on cardio training. So the paddling is a whole important stuff. We do the exercise, we do the static exercise, but it's important for me that people get really in shape. And this is mainly happening about cardio. And of course, they come for paddling. They're not coming for sitting on the board, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, coming for some exercise. But more or less, how long would a Paddlefit exercise take? How many hours?
Normally, the classes I teach is 1 hour, 15 minutes. The 15 minutes is important because I want to have minimum 1 hour workout on the water for the people, as we do it also in fitness classes mainly. But people have to go out of the water and coming back. So the 15 minutes, it's important, for groups.
Like a transitional period.
Yeah, it's a transition, and also having like a group really controlled. And so we have really 60 minutes on the water. And our program is designed on 4 parts. So really warm up, core exercises, balance and technical training, and after, of course, stretching. So
okay, so can you take us through that in a little bit more detail? So you start off with a warm up, right?
Yeah, the warm up normally it depends on the weather conditions. I teach my instructors that they have options on the land and on the lake or on the sea. So you can do your warm up wherever you want, but the warm up is like 5 to 10 minutes. Depends every time on the weather conditions. And then, of course, I start normally with the cardio part, as I do the same in indoor is the same. So paddling, doing maybe some buoy training, because, especially for girls, you have to disguise a bit the technical part because they think it's boring. So you have to put some fun.
But so you basically paddle for the second section, and is that kind of like when you get into the gym and you get on a bicycle or a treadmill and you start off
exactly
up?
get the body a bit warm up and also get the system ready for some workout.
Cool. Okay, and so then what happens after the cardio training?
After the cardio training, normally we do core training. So core, it's the whole body. We can do some, typical exercise, some squats with combination of the paddle. So we push the paddle upward over the head and do some squats with the arms. Or we sit on the board and we do some abs exercise, but every time like fluid movements. For me, it's like static movements. It's time for myself as trainer, it's boring. So I put people more in like combinations. So every time upper body, lower body is everything connected. So the time is going faster for them.
Cool.
They keep concentrated because they have to be careful, and it's all easy. So for me, it's really a main part that all these parts are accessible to all fitness levels because we have not so many people like me on the water.
Sure. So what happens after the core training?
After the core training, as normally I don't want to fall them in the water. Depends on the weather, but I want to work with them balance training. So we do paddling where we maybe skip a bit the board from left to right. So we have a nice exercise called the wave maker, or walking on the board or something like that. So balance training mainly where they're a bit focused on board and paddle, and still the core muscles work out, so it's still workout, but they get more safer on the board, and this is more important for me that they don't.
Sure, I tried that the other day with a lady. She was over 60, and with the wave maker exercise, and she promptly fell off immediately. So we had to work a little bit on that.
Yeah, but for me, it's important that most of the people, especially with this exercise where you skip really left and right the board, that they have to get the hip loose. The hip problem is every time a big problem, even in main paddling, because we're all kind of stiff in that. So they focus, and I see a good development from one class to another, that people get more confidence, and they hear me and say, okay, think about your hips, and after it's working. Not from the first moment, but yeah.
Okay. And how many times would you recommend people do this, on a regular basis? Every week or twice a week? Or?
I have a lot of people who already did my instructor training, for example, but for themselves. So they paddle, for example, 4 times a week, and they put some exercise in their daily or weekly paddle routine. I would say 2 classes is really perfect as a main class, like with group dynamic, like we have normal group fitness classes. So it's a bit stronger. And if not, people can do some exercise if they like some exercise like the plank or, like the squat every time when they paddle as they usually warm up.
So they come along for a lesson mainly to learn how to do it, and then they'll carry on and doing those exercises on their own, right? In their own
the main customer is typical for, unfortunately for me, girls, because they want to join a group and they want to paddle together with people, so they share. They don't want to paddle alone. But when they rent a board, I saw them a lot time on the water. They put some exercise on the board while they're paddling. So 1 hour they rent the board and they do some squats and some planks. So I think people pick out the exercise they know how to do best and where they feel the results, and put this whenever they want.
Sure. Okay. And do you think that paddlefit as a genre is growing a lot? And are there specific boards for it, or do you just use any type of board?
Honestly, I have to say that at the moment, and I'm talking purely about paddlefit, and I have no problem to say that we are like in the stagnation. Actually, I have less demand than last year. But it's not that bad for myself, because I said to myself, okay, now the people or the countries, they put some restrictions on stand-up paddle instructor certifications. So people get now certified on basic programs, and after they will come back to us. The main grow I see is in SUP yoga, which is understandable. But I think, and this is my personal opinion, nothing against SUP yoga teachers, whatever. SUP yoga, I think it's really great. But I think we lose a bit the paddle stuff. We still on the board with a paddle, and if I want to do yoga on the lake or on the sea, I can do this also on an inflatable platformer or whatever. But yeah, people are super interested, and what's really important, the most important thing, paddlefit, SUP yoga, whatever, getting people out of the gym in the nature, wellness. This is a big headline.
Absolutely, it's a totally different environment, isn't it, when you're out in the elements and instead of being in a warm gym?
Yeah, and this is actually the first feedback I get from everybody. This exercise I know, but in the gym I think it's boring. But here it's challenge, so I think it's the best advertising we can get.
Absolutely, and it's great because you've got to deal with all kinds of different environmental changes and waves and wind and all kinds of stuff.
And but for example, for us in our certification, it's important that paddlefit, you can normally train our program, you can train in all weather conditions. So be careful, not in storms, not rain, whatever. But if I have wind on my lake, and I have this often, I'm not canceling the class, because my people come to the lake and they want to paddle. So,
Yeah, they want to work out,
so
I
we
guess.
do a different exercise, but still paddlefit, still fitness and cardio training. So I think this is also really important that you don't limit yourself in teaching these classes to only flat water and pure, no wind, nothing.
Sure, I guess those elements can help and increase the exercise for the people.
And the safety, because if people are used to go out with me in these windy conditions and they know they're capable to do that, and if they rent one time aboard and the wind change, which happens pretty often, they know I can come back. I have the power and I know the technique and I know the security position and everything. So
Sure.
This is most important.
Okay, and how about you, Suzanne? How did you find paddleboarding? Because we love to talk to people about how they first went for a paddleboard and got hooked, because you must have been hooked.
I remember it as it was yesterday.
Yeah. How long ago was it?
It was 2010, actually. And it was here in the Lake of Geneva. And there was one windsurf center who started renting some boards. And I said, wow, that's cool, because I'm come from surfing. So I was a surfer, a normal surfer before, but you imagine in Switzerland, we don't really have waves. So you only have your vacation. When I saw this board coming and seeing some people doing that, I said, this is for me. And of course, first time on the board, I fell every time in the water. I said, wow, this is not possible. Well, I'm not capable to do that. And after, of course, some tricks and getting everyday renting, after the first time, I think I was renting a board 5 times a week. And I got really, really stoked by that. And of course, after you look on YouTube, and in 2010, there was not so much information about technique, nothing. So we paddled as we could. And first love.
So what made you take it on? Obviously, it started just as a hobby for you, but with being a personal trainer, when did you make the connection between Paddlefit and normal paddling?
It started with my sub-instructor certification. I did at this time in 2011, the year after, in IUSUP. Now I think these federations, this association is not anymore existing, but the guys who were our teachers at this time, they talked to me and I said, I'm coming from fitness. I would like to put some exercise on the board because I saw this in the States. And they said, wow, if you want to do sometimes workshops or clinics and you prepare something, let us know. And I said, they're not so wrong. And after I worked really one winter on a book for myself. And I tried this with first customers. And after it go more far with creating a certification program, because in fitness, as I'm a fitness instructor for so many years, I know how this works. I went to many instructor trainings as well.
I was going to say, because that can't be that easy, creating a certification from scratch.
No. But after you pick the ideas from all kind of experience I got from other certifications where I was happy, why I wasn't happy to have this certification, it's basic stuff, but all the fitness association worldwide, they are all private and they're all having their own methodology. So, and I picked mine and I tried this with people here in Switzerland first. And after I went to Spain the first time, and every time when I got good feedback and also negative feedback, if you get negative feedback, you can grow faster. And I think, that helped me to grow. So as a, also.
And so more or less, how many people or how many countries is Paddlefit in, Paddlefit Europe?
Countries I cannot really say, but we have now over 60 instructors. And,
wow, it's a lot.
Yeah, and part of them, so you have to be a bit careful with this number, because I have a lot of people came to my certification for themselves. So they said, I want to do the certification to do for myself the training and for my girlfriends. So,
right, so they're not active instructors.
Yeah, maybe not active instructors in their country, but they're just doing this for fun and not for money. But after I have really serious people in Spain, for example, I have a really great center in Barcelona. I'm really happy about that. And in Fuertaventura, I also have an instructor who does a lot of advertising, which is not every time easy in some places. Ocean and lakes are different.
Sure. What about the UK? Are you based? Have you got any instructors there?
No, not yet. And I didn't really get a lot of requests. But maybe this depends also what I said before. Now, a lot of European countries start to put their own certification, basic certification in line to keep safety and, professional sub-instruction in forward. And after people get ready to have other programs, because Paddlefit and I have to say it also, Sub Yoga are additional programs. If you don't know how to paddle, if you don't know how to teach people, don't do that.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah, it's definitely a supplemental thing, isn't it? So now tell me about your race career, because I see on your website that you got some races and results. Did you start racing in 2013?
Officially in 2012, because I did the first race here in Switzerland, Swiss Championship, and we were kind of 10 people, which was really, really fun. And after I had really a special moment with a girl called Jen Scully. She's the owner of Live Love Sup, and now she became mom a couple of days.
Oh, yes. Oh, she already had her baby?
Yeah, she had a little girl, Mackenzie. So, and I met her in Switzerland in 2012, and we were doing the Swiss Championship together. And since then, there was a big friendship growing, and she motivated me. She said, yeah, you have to do some races, Susan. You are in Europe. You can do that. And I said, okay. I'm not an athlete like, history like other athletes. They're coming from other competition sports. So I tried and I did some stuff 2012, 2013 without any coaches. So on this, the level was normal. It was okay. And after, of course, you get bored, which is more competitive. I'm really happy with the sponsor here in Switzerland, Hobie Stand-Up Paddle. They give me really nice boards. But yeah.
And how did you get around to getting sponsorship by Hobie? That's great.
Because here in Switzerland, it depends on the person here, because he wanted to push me and he said, okay, I invest money in you. But of course, we have a partnership. I also sell boards, and with Paddlefit in Switzerland, we do a lot of promotion for Hobie. So it's kind of giving and taking. It's a good balance. And now it's already the third year that I get one of these super nice raw boards. I just got yesterday my new babies. So I'm really happy. I'm a happy girl.
Awesome. So what do you race? I mean, it's a 14-foot board, right?
Both. I have 12.6 and 14-foot. And now this is called Apex Race, USA Pro, whatever. They have special names. They change every year. But this year I raced for international races for 12.6. 25 and 14 also 25. Last year was a bit larger, but I don't feel really the difference.
But how on earth do you transport these boards around? Because they're huge, and trying to get those on an airplane is tough, isn't it?
You have to choose a company. You have to make a big smile when you come to the scanner. And normally, and I can tell you, Nick, next time I take a camera on my head, because people on airports, they are just looking at you like you're from another planet. Because I'm not that tall. I'm 1.62 meters. And with a large board like a 12.6, they're every time looking at me like I have a dead body in that, or I transport clothes. And it's really, really funny because actually these boards are, of course, it's really not really fun to travel with that. And in Europe, it's still okay because we have EasyJet, we have Ryanair, we have some charter airlines. They allow these kind of boards. But of course, going to the airport, carrying this to the counter, and blah, 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 it's really hard. I'm not really happy about the Euro Tour that they put girths in 14-foot. But it's a decision of people. They are much more important. And it doesn't make any sense for girls paddling a 14-footer because we don't have the weight class. We are not over 80. And I don't know how I would travel. My first race will be in Mallorca from my friend Laura Ketlas. She's organizing this, actually the Spanish champion. And they do the Port Adriano race, which is one of the beautiful races in Europe. But first time with a 14-footer. So I will look in Geneva the 21st of May with EasyJet if they are still keen to take my board.
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, not sure how you're going to get to Mallorca.
Without.
Yeah. But so last year you came fourth. Are you looking to win this year?
No, I win not. Cannot. I'm really honest with myself. If there's Sunny coming, which is just a woman who's just far beyond my capability physically and also by anatomy, I'm really working hard. I really want to go third this year because last year was just the problem was I was fourth in long distance and I got third in sprint because sprint is just the discipline where I'm a bit more stronger. But the long distance every time counts a bit more. So mainly I'm fourth. But it's not the aim really to be first all the time. I prefer to have fun and race with myself, not with my ego, to say I have to go, have to go. But yeah, they're strong girls, and these girls are like me. They train during the summer, during the winter with coaches. Now I have really professional support, and they are not sleeping, so it's tough.
Do you train with any of the girls together, and what's your relationship like with the other girls on tour?
I have really great relationship with Laura Ketlas because we already organized a Chica race camp in Fuerteventura this winter. She's really one of the person I admire the most, and I can also talk the most with her, like all about everything. There are no secrets in training, nothing.
Cool. Sorry, what's her name?
Laura Ketlas.
Laura Ketlas.
Yeah, she's from Stick Team Rider, and she's from Mallorca.
Okay.
And person, you don't really think that she's a strong paddler because she's not like the typical body type of athlete, but she's super strong. And I admire her for that. And also she had a lot of luck because she says every time she had from the first day a really great coach, a really great person next to her. But with the other girls we talk, but where there's not so much contact because a lot of girls come living in Australia or in America, and we see each other on the races. But it's not the same atmosphere as under the guys, and this is I think it's a bit sad. Because
I mean, it's not the same fun atmosphere as the guys have, as the girls have.
The guys, they fight on the water and after they drink a beer. And the girls, they draft each other and they are angry at each other after. And this is not really fun.
That's not fun. But tell me, the Naish won World Championship. You came second there. Did you come second to Manka Nota?
Yeah.
Okay, because she's really young, isn't she?
Yeah, I almost caught her. I almost got the long distance first because it was really a hard race, 13 kilometers with these inflatables with wind. And she just got drafting, which is a bit more faster than me, but it's still fun. Yeah, she's super strong. She's young. She's fresh. She's 45 kilos only heavy.
Wow, that's light.
Nah, she's really strong. She gets really good support from her parents, from Naish as well. She's really good, big part from the Naish family, and she's a great athlete. So I think, the youngs are every time for us old ladies because we're not that young, you know. They are.
I don't think you can call yourself an old lady.
Yeah, but you are old sport. You know, you see when I see the other girls like Sonny and me and Laura and the others, you know, we are above 30. So
yeah, sure. So the big question is, did you meet Robbie Naish?
Yeah, what's
he like?
He's fun. He's funny. He's actually, for me, impressive because he speaks perfect German, but like perfect, you cannot imagine that he's even American. And he's accessible, and you know, even on this Naish tour, and this is a good idea what he did. He came there, he worked there. He's not like the VIP who does nothing. He did with Chuck Norris, because he's Chuck Patterson.
Chuck Patterson, yeah.
Yeah, but he comes really close to Chuck Norris.
Why? Because he looks a bit like Chuck Norris.
No,
He's big and strong.
Yeah, strong guy. They did all the race organization, and it's a good motivator, and always open.
So he's very hands-on and very helpful to the races.
And what was funny, he was paddling with the kids a long distance, so I think this is a good sign for him that he's really a normal person. And I tell you, German, just perfect.
So how does Robbie Naish speak German? I mean, did he have German ancestry?
I have no idea. I asked him one time and he said, I was traveling a lot, and with the windsurf, there was a lot going on in Europe as well, but I have no idea. I'm German, so if I hear an American talking German like that, I'm surprised. I say, are you married to a German person? Your wife is German? Or you had a lot of German girlfriends? I don't know.
Maybe this is that. Maybe. So what's next for this year? Are you? What are your plans for this year?
This year I have a really full plan from May on for races. But for me also there are big projects coming here in Switzerland because we have now 2 sub-schools, my partner and me. So one school will be really a training center, especially for kids, because I want to push a bit more the juniors for next year too. And I would like to come to the BOP this year, but
the Battle of the Paddle.
Yeah, because I trained a lot in Fuerteventura, these typical beach starts with the waves, whatever, and I caught a lot of good waves, but I drunk also a lot of water.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to train with really strong guys like Eric Terrien and Bernard Diaz, and we were like a really good group with other people too. So this was fun. But the thing is, I'm still not the 100% full athlete, so I have to work, and everything decides like 1 month before if I can go or not. Because I don't want to go to the BOP unprepared. I want to go 2 weeks before, getting a bit the place, knowing the waves or whatever.
Yeah, because just seeing the videos from last year, the
Yeah.
Battle of the Paddle looked like absolute carnage. I mean, those waves are pretty big.
Carnage. The only thing I know is that when I go there, I don't go with my board there. I will get the board there.
Yeah, why? Because it probably won't come back.
Yeah, no. And I really like my new board, and I don't want to get it broken.
What about inflatables for a race like that? I mean, I know there was a guy called Sam Ross from the UK who took over a red paddle inflatable.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about racing an inflatable?
If there were people saying now, hey guys, all overseas races or even the World Championship we do on inflatables, I would be 1000% with them. It's a pain. And I think now the inflatable, especially red paddles and even Hobie, they did some really good boards. So I don't.
I saw an article that Dave Kalama wrote about
exactly.
changing. Yeah, it looked like a really good idea because obviously it must be very difficult to transport those boards around the world.
You know what? Honestly, I traveled a lot now with boards. Last year I did, I think, more than 10 travels with boards. And if it's every time one trip, one way, it's okay. But the time you have to get like a change in Madrid or whatever, I don't know. I think it's not, the board will not make it because the people.
Oh, right. When you're taking the board through the airport and trying to make a connection.
Yeah, connection flights, I think they are most of the problems. Mm-hmm. And actually, I have some feedback from Mexico because I have friends who are not going now to the World Championship because they cannot get the boards down. Because when they fly via the States, because the States is normally main point for good flights, cheap flights, and intern flights to Mexico, and the intern flights from the US, most of the companies are not transporting boards more over 2 meters.
Oh, so, that's bad, no?
I don't know.
So what's going to happen to the ISA World Championships?
I don't know. I hope they will come there.
Were you going to paddle for Switzerland?
No. Here's the thing. I'm German. So I'm an alien for both countries. Because in the German championship, I still have to show it to some girls because they're a bit picky, my German passport. And in Switzerland, I had the title for a couple of years. Last year, I did first in Swiss championships, but I couldn't take the title because there were Swiss girls. But the problem is we have in Switzerland a foreigner country, a resident country. And a lot of people don't have the passport, even they live like me, like almost 12 years here. We have like foreigner pass. And even people are born here and they don't have the passport. And I always say to the association federation, hey guys, do you want to open this sport for all the people or not? So open this also because in other sports it's the same. Sailing, you can be a Swiss champion with a foreign passport, but with a residence.
Yeah, a lot of other sports you can be residents of other countries, and I mean, for example, football. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm the same kind of story because I've been in Portugal for 15 years, but I've got a foreigner passport, as it were.
The thing is also for me, I have a lot of time the problem for which country I'm racing in international races because I have to make the inscription with my actually address. So a lot of times behind my name is every time the CH, even I'm German. And other people don't understand that. I cannot put the German address because I don't have anyone more.
Well, that's what I'd also like to talk about is Fuerteventura. So is it really, I heard somebody mention that it was the Hawaii of Europe. Is that correct?
Not only Fuerteventura, I think the main Canary Islands, you can call this like the Hawaii of Europe because the climate, the conditions, because also of windsurfing, Hawaii, Maui, you have also a lot of windsurfing. And of course, in Lanzarote and in Tenerife and Fuerteventura, you have really world-class waves when they're good conditions. So, and it's close, but I fell in love as well with the waves in Portugal. So the only problem in Portugal is the wind is a bit colder.
Yeah, it's a little bit colder, but it's not too bad when you get to summer. So
no,
it's a whole lot better than the UK.
I think I do a lot of advertising for Europe because I think we go every time really far to catch waves and whatever, and we have everything in front of the door. And why not?
Exactly. You got the biggest wave in the world in Portugal.
Exactly. And we have I remember my first time I caught a wave in Arifana, and I was like the luckiest girl on the earth because there were no one. And
Yeah, I was there last week. It was fantastic. Absolutely beautiful down in Arifana.
Perfect water, people are nice. I think Portugal is a good opportunity, especially when I talk about people in Switzerland. We have great conditions from Geneva to Lisbon with EasyJet, and we have so many options. Don't go too far. We don't need to go too far to catch some waves.
Yes, come to Portugal. Come to Portugal.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Support other countries.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Well, thank you so much, Suzanne. It's been really wonderful speaking to you.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best for this season.
Yeah, we see tomorrow. I will try first time my 14-footer. Yesterday was a 12.6 on the water, and I found love. So we see tomorrow what happened with the 14.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks. You, Nick, and have a good season too. And I hope maybe we see each other on one of the events.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to SUP FM, the #1 podcast for stand-up paddlers wherever you are. If you like what you've heard, please leave us a review on iTunes. Until then, we'll see you in the water.